Good morning from Bobblehead Homestead. I am Jeff. This is Mark from, what is your channel?
Arkansas Woodcutter channel.
Yeah, and we just hooked up. When did I subscribe to you? Just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, it's only been a couple weeks. Yeah.
So you were in the market for some chickens?
Yes.
And I've got
He's a hard man to get a hold of for chickens, but if you get the opportunity to get a hold of him, it's a great value.
I just don't share my chickens with anybody.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you're going to go home with 3 pullets that just started laying.
Okay.
2 pullets that they're about 4.5 months old, so another month they'll start laying.
Okay.
And then we just got 14 baby chicks for you.
I appreciate that. It's been a great day. I'm glad to be able to come up and hang out and get to see everything you've got going here. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, we spent a couple hours. He helped me do some weeding around the pawpaws, and I was able to re-gift some of the stuff that Papa Pepper gifted to me. Sorry about the wind noise.
Some of the things that I've been looking for that were on my make sure I get this year for my homestead, one of those was witch hazel, forsythia, and willow. And I could have gotten all 3 here. I had secured some willow from another location from a lady at another place. But when you offered willow, or when you offered witch hazel, and when you offered the forsythia, it was like, wow. In addition to that, the mulberry, you gave me mulberry cuttings as well, and that's heaven sent for me. It's one of those things that I was looking for, didn't know where I was going to get it, didn't know how I was going to be able to find it, and then you offered that to me, and I appreciate it.
And I had it available because it was gifted to me from Papa Pepper, so we got some cuttings off that. You did some air layering on the peach tree. I got a little clip on that. I'll show you in a minute. Helped me dig up some irises.
It's been a full day. He put me to work. He was like, hey, if you don't mind. And of course I don't mind. I don't mind at all helping.
And I'm happy to trade chickens for a little bit of help here and there. And that's how the world works according to Bobblehead.
Man, it's good to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please check out Arkansas Woodcutter. Tell us a little bit about your channel and what you got going on.
A little bit about my channel. We homestead, and we've been on our homestead for about 20 years. And my wife and I are launching our kids into life. Our baby just graduated high school this year, and what an odd year to graduate high school.
Yeah.
But since the kids are leaving, we have decided to ramp things back up and get the homestead up and going for our retirement, kind of giving us a nest to retire to, a place that will offset food cost, and we're working on a food forest, developing that and trying to get as much perennial food in place so that we can offset some of the annual cost of planting annuals, tomato, squash, like that, but have some things that we can preserve and that will be high yield, and we won't have to put a lot of work into year after year, so that we've got a food source, secure food source there where we live, being as self-reliant as possible.
And we found out we have a common hero. I don't know if we call him that, but David the Good.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Any David the Good fans out there? But we're both.
May your thumbs always be green.
Yes. And I'm doing everything wrong because David the Good, he's not a fan of the wood chips and the old hay because of pesticides and stuff that can be in there. But I've been lucky so far.
If you've got organic sources, then it's not a big deal, and you've got your source.
I know my neighbor. I watch him. He doesn't spray anything on his field. So, but David the Good, I've learned a lot from him. And we've been talking about him all day. So shout out to David the Good also.
Yeah, David the Good is incredible.
What kind of stuff you got growing as far as annual vegetables?
This year we've got a lot of tomatoes. We've got corn, squash, beans. We've got a couple of kinds of beans. We've got green beans, black beans, and pinto beans.
Wow.
The neighbor and I are growing a pea patch together. My neighbor and I have a community garden. He's got more land than I've got, and he's got a tractor, and so we talked about it and decided that in order for the food security for both of our families, he tilled over a large portion of his property, and over there we've got melons and sweet potatoes and just all kinds of things.
Cooperating with neighbors is
awesome. In these times when everybody is sort of freaking out and trying to stay to themselves, it's nice to have people that are still willing to get together and communicate and let life go on as normal as possible. And I really appreciate, you know, not only my neighbor, but you, and letting me come up and us kind of break through some of those barriers of social isolation. Because if I'm staying at home and I'm safe, and you're staying at home and you're safe, there's no reason we can't get together and have fellowship or talk to each other, you know, as normal human beings, and just share some life. And
yeah, I learned stuff from you today, and you might have picked up a few things about chickens. And
absolutely. This guy's a wealth of knowledge, and somebody that I appreciate getting to know better, and in the future getting to, you know, when I have questions and things that I need information about, I appreciate you being a resource.
I'm happy to help when I can. I'm just a newbie on a lot of this stuff, but any chicken questions, I'm still a newbie there too, but when I jump in, I like to learn a lot. But does your neighbor need any chickens?
No, we will have plenty of chickens.
Good deal. You'll share with your neighbor also.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Any other thing we want to talk about? It was a great morning. A lot of stuff. It's like mid-90s right now, so it's time to.
Yeah, I'm ready to go home. He has worked me until I'm exhausted, tired, thirsty, and I'm leaving so that way I don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Teasing.
After doing a good. Yeah. You can tell he's got gardening in its blood, because you saw some of the stuff growing up around the pawpaws. You're like, well, let's get it out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I appreciate
that.
That
was very appreciated. Now I got to come and visit you.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Come on. I'd love to have you, man, and see my place. And we're 3 acres, and I'm right now under production, what I'm calling food production. We've got about a ½ acre under food production.
That's
and
good.
I am hacking away at the other 2 acres and listening to David the Good. David the Good is as I go through and hack, I'm building some hugelkultur mounds. I'm doing that chop and drop where I'm using the available plants, flora. I'm using the available flora to chop and drop and just kind of look and see what's there. We've got some natural medicinal plants on our place, and I don't want to lose my natural pioneer species if they're beneficial to the farm and beneficial medicinally.
Absolutely.
So there's a friend of mine that I'm consulting, and she's kind of telling me what plants I've got and what things I need to keep and what things I can remove and use, you know, totally up. But yeah, it's a work in progress, and I hope by this fall to get some pecan trees and some pawpaw trees. And also, what's the other thing David the Good told me? A mulberry tree. And secured mulberry today. And I took some blueberry cuttings off of my plants in the fall. And I've got a few of those that are rooted, and I'll have some extra blueberries. And if you want some blueberries, my son and I air layered some pear, or a couple of pear. We tried to air layer a persimmon. I think persimmon's kind of finicky. It doesn't really like to be air layered, but we tried it anyway. We've got some Arkansas black apple we air layered.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and some grape and some blueberries. So we're trying to use what we already have and use those methods of creating free trees and free food. So we'll have younger plants, and then as we get more of those to mature, we'll actually air layer some more, and then we'll have plants not only to continue developing our food forest, but to share with other people.
Yeah. And then, like, you find somebody like me, maybe I've got the willow that you're looking for, but I'd like the, you know, plum, or it's just...
we could trade, you know, the barter, the way things used to be before money was the king of all, you know, is people shared what they had and use that to secure the things that they were looking for and wanted to have it.
And no shipping and handling fees or anything like that. Just, you know, you just got to get together once in a while and make that trip worth it. So, you know, you got chickens today and other stuff, so we were able to stack functions.
Well, if you see something of mine that you want, or if you're watching and you're like, hey, I would really love to have that, hit me up in the comments, or, you know, hit me up in the emails and let me know, and we'll work something out. I'll make sure that you get what you need for your place, and you know, maybe you've got something that I'm looking for, and you can work out some sort of trade.
Awesome. All right, I won't keep you. We can talk. I can talk all day long when people come.
When the camera's not on, it's like blah 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 nonstop, and it's this guy's a great guy to know. I didn't know what I was going to get into this morning when I came up. It's the first time we've met. And y'all, just everything you see on the camera, he's like that in real life. He's just a great individual, great human being. It's my pleasure to meet you.
I appreciate that. My pleasure to meet you also. Go check out his channel, Arkansas Woodcutter. There will be a link below, and we'll be seeing more of Mark. I got to go take a look at your place to glean some more knowledge from you and ideas. I love going to other people's homesteads to see how they're doing stuff, and that gives me ideas that I can use here, and it's inspiring. Yeah, that's and when you're inspired, that gives you motivation to go out and do stuff too. So that's you know, you're paying it back in that way also. So all right, thanks, take her easy, everybody. Bye guys. Mark is air layering this peach tree. And describe what you did. You cut back like an inch section?
Yeah, you just you cut back about an inch section of bark to where you've got bare stem underneath. Then you put the rooting hormone on there. After you get some sort of rooting hormone on, then you cover it with soil, and you moisture barrier the soil next to the stem. So for us, we're using a potting mix that we've got available. The rooting hormone, we didn't have any rooting hormone available, so we crushed up an aspirin, and then we're using saran wrap as a moisture barrier. And now we'll tie this saran wrap to the stem at each end to lock in the moisture next to the limb, and hopefully in a month or so we'll come back and there'll be roots, and we'll be able to clip it off behind the root base, and we'll have a new peach tree.
Have a new peach tree. Cool. Okay, those three white hens are the result of Daryl. He is the whiting true blue rooster, the white splash whiting true blue rooster. So this is Daryl. He's purebred blue egg laying genetics, and he was the father. And the mothers are over here, and let's go talk about them. The mothers of those three white first generation olive eggers are the production brown egg layers. These are the hens that I got from BW Family Farm, the first batch. These are the 4-H hens that Lane and Emily had raised and brought up. So when I got a group of them, what I did was I selected the darkest brown eggs and I hatched those, and that's how I got those three white pullets. So the father is a whiting true blue, and the mothers are production brown egg layers. They have started laying eggs, and they're laying, some of them didn't get much brown at all, so it's basically a blue egg, and the others are light green. But being with the production brown egg genetics, they should be big eggs and a lot of eggs. So it'll be interesting to hear from him how many eggs he is getting from those girls. They'll probably go through some stress moving from here to a new place. They might not lay very good for a few weeks, but after that I'll be interested to hear from Mark how they are laying. He is also getting ready to hatch some eggs, and he wanted some fertilized eggs to fill out his incubator. So I got him some more of these production brown eggs, and that's the other Daryl, and he's also a whiting true blue rooster. So they'll those offspring in those hatching eggs will be very similar. And to fill out a dozen, I was in here collecting eggs anyway, so he got an egg from number 2's daughters. That's one of her daughters, and that's another one of her daughters. So if either of those two eggs hatch from, those were eggs from today, then number 2 will be a grandmother, and number 2's daughters will be mothers. And yeah, he was hoping for some broody hens, and so this is the best thing I got was number 2's grandkids might potentially be broody like she is. So yep, that's what the hatching eggs came out of here also. He also picked up 2 of, these are my 3rd generation olive egger pullets. He got 2 that looked pretty much identical to her. So these were hatched from my darkest green eggs, and the father is Larry. I'll take you down to show him, but yeah, he got 2 of these. These were hatched, I think it was January 25th. So they'll be laying here in the next month and a half. Hopefully by, you know, the end of July at the very least, he'll have 2 more egg layers. And because he did not have any egg layers right now. But yeah, he got 2 of these 3rd generations. I've got 10. I had 10 of them in here, and so I could definitely spare 2, especially the ones that look alike. There are quite a few that that had that same pattern, so I don't need all of them with the same pattern. So yeah, 2 more 3rd generation olive eggers. They will lay a light green, probably speckled egg, I'm hoping, if it gets passed along. But let's go take a look at the father and mothers of these. Well, not all of these in here, but most of them. The dark colored ones. These lavender ones those are different. Larry, the whiting true blue rooster. He is the father of those 2 hens. And my 2nd generation olive eggers, she is one of them. They look very similar to Welsumers because they've got a lot of Welsumer blood in them. But she's one of the 3 that lays the darker green eggs. And her and her 2 sisters are the mothers of those 2 pullets. Then he also picked up 14 baby chicks. And Larry is the father of those 14 baby chicks. And the Welsumer hens in here, the 3 Welsumer hens, are the mothers of those. The Welsumer hens are laying a brown speckled egg. So there's a good chance that any hens he gets from those chicks will lay a speckled light green egg. And there's one of the Welsumers. You can tell that olive egger she's just a little bit bigger and she's got a different comb. So yep, Larry and the Welsumers are the father and mothers of those 14 baby chicks. The 3 white hens came from brown eggs such as those with a blue egg genetic father. So that's where the 3 white hens came from. The 2 younger hens, the pullets I should be calling them, those came from my darker green eggs, but I bred those back to a blue to purify, so to speak, the green egg genetics. And so that's where 2 of them came from. And then the baby chicks hatched out of my Welsumer eggs with a whiting true blue father. So those should produce you know, kind of a light green egg on those. It was a very good day, other than the heat and the sun. Yeah, it was great getting to know Mark. He's a great guy, so I will be following his channel, seeing how these chickens turn out. And I tried to pawn off a young cockerel on them, but I guess I didn't try hard enough. No, I'll convince him to get a cockerel one of these days. I just, you know, I'm not at the place in my breeding program that I've got a lot of good extra stuff. So I'm getting very close now that those 2, the 2 younger pullets that are not laying yet that he got. My next step with them is both the roosters and the hens from those 3rd generation. I'm gonna have to breed back to a brown egg layer, and then wait for their kids to grow up and start laying eggs. And that's how you test what color, egg color genetics that they have, is you have to breed them back to a brown egg layer or a white egg laying breed. And so that's the process I'm at right now, is I need to wait for them to start laying eggs, and then I need to hatch some of those eggs and find out what color eggs their kids hatch. And that's so that's why I need a lot of different coops. The same test goes for the cockerels, and I'll be trying to save some of those cockerels also. The cockerels I'll have to breed back to some of my production brown egg layers, and then if any of their kids lay brown eggs, then I know he's only half of a green egg breed. But if none of the kids lay brown eggs and they all lay green eggs, then I know I've got the pure green egg genetics. So I'm not, I haven't, you know, I've got a ways to go. This chicken breeding stuff is not overnight success by any means. especially when you're going for the olive eggers. You're talking at least 3 generations, probably 4 or 5, to get to that true green egg genetics that you're looking for. And even then, it's going to be a light green. So yeah, don't get me started. I can talk about chickens all day. I almost did that today. Okay, so thank you, Larry. Thanks for interrupting me to keep me from rambling even more. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to meet wonderful people like Mark. This YouTube community is just, you know, we've been talking about it today, all of the connections that he has made. Homestead Aquarius, hey dude, good to meet you today. Yeah, he, you know, he's met a lot of great people through the YouTube community, as I have, and now we've met each other through the YouTube community. He was about 2.5 hours away, not far from Little Rock, and so we'll definitely be getting together. I have to go over to his place. I get, you know, inspiration seeing other people's homesteads, and you know, everybody finds some creative way to garden or to take care of chickens or goats or, you know, whatever they're doing, and I just love seeing that. It inspires me, and when you're inspired, you're motivated, to kind of paraphrase Jess from Roots and Refuge in a video a few days ago. So yeah, okay, Larry didn't stop me from rambling anymore, but this YouTube community has just been changed my life so much for the better. So thank you for everybody involved in that. Thanks for watching my videos, and take her easy, everybody. I'll probably see you tomorrow. What's up, Bob? What's up, Bob?